All right, and I hope everybody is going excellent and having an amazing day. I am super excited to be here because I made it one of my goals where I'm going to uh come on and do more lives and things of that sort. So, all right. So, I want to welcome everyone to a CE brand therapy session. I started this podcast a long time ago, and I logged on and I figured out that I had 120 people that were actually listening. So, if you're looking for a sign to start a podcast, please go ahead and do. Anchor FM has been purchased by Spotify, so you can still go in there and start your podcast for free. All right. So today we are talking about what has been happening with me. We are talking about balancing 9 to 5 life and doing all of these things, right? So I want to tell y'all a little bit about me. So I'm Cortesia. Um, I'm Cortesia Oxford. People call me Corey, especially at work because people be butchering your name. Okay. Um, what is that, baby? I don't know what it is. I don't know where that came from. So I have been a I started like a lot of people know about me on these platforms from being on Clubhouse. When I was on Clubhouse as the branding architect, I did a lot of work branding, did a lot of rooms. I'm always the blunt one because everybody else want to beat around the bush and stuff like that, but I want to get straight to the point. Um, I want to get straight to the point. So when it comes to where I am now, I feel like you got to know the past part in order to get here. So I have a I've been trying for the longest. Like I had 2 profitable years in entrepreneurship. I made like what I would make on a regular job. But I seem to always have an issue when I had a regular job. Either me and the boss would get into it, or it'll be an issue where um I would end up having some kind of problems. Like the job I had during the pandemic was a customer service job. I was working for this major company. And if you know me personally, you know which company it is. Working for this major company, while I'm working for this major company in the travel and lifestyle department, I didn't meet their sales goal. Their sales goal was $90,000 a month, and I couldn't meet it, so I ended up being let go. After that, I went and worked for an agency, and I did a lot of things there. Then we ended up having a bad relationship. So at that point, I was like, "Is it me, God?" It was me and has been me because I was so trusting of people and I was so used to investing my time, my energy, my space into somebody's everything that I could not see myself, right? So then fast forward, Clubhouse comes about. Clubhouse come about and I'm like, okay, I want to get on this app. I want to do something on this app. I want to get on here because I know, I can talk. I can talk. Your girl can talk. So I was like, all right, let me get on Clubhouse. And then I couldn't get on because they had a waiting list at the time. And I'm telling you, when they got rid of that waiting list and started letting any everybody on and worked so hard to get Android and iPhone on, that killed the whole app, baby. Killed the app. Access to everybody, free fall. But so going through that process, I got on Clubhouse, started talking. I was going into rooms. I had to figure out my own mode. I gained a lot of friends, built all this stuff, and I was tired. I was tired health wise. My health had gotten out of control. I was spending hours, like 24 to 48 hours a day, with little to no sleep, being on Clubhouse, going through the processes, being in people's rooms, investing in people's dreams, watching them go, getting my feelings hurt. I was going back and forth with all of this. And I was like, the reason why I got into entrepreneurship was simply because I wanted to be able to spend more time with my kids. I wanted to be able to give them the life that they deserved. And the whole time I'm sitting here looking like Bambi when she lost her mama. Like, I was sad, I was depressed, I was hurt, I was drowning, literally drowning, because I was still with certain people taking anything. Does that make sense? So there were some people who were literally like, "Hey, I only got $100, and can I work with you with only $100?" Or they would give me what they wanted to give me rather than doing that. So it put me in a different state in my mind, where I ended up being really sad, really depressed, really hurt, because literally I couldn't. It was a time where my son needed some pants because he had tore his pants up. And I was like, yo, he needs some pants for tomorrow. Cause he needs some pants for tomorrow. Okay. He didn't want to wear his regular school size pants. He wanted joggers. So when I had talked to my son, I was just like, I gotta get some pants. So the lady, I did like a massive work for her, a massive overhaul. She sent me like $55. His pants cost like 27. Well, Amazon, I think it was like 27, 37. It was high. So when I'm getting to the point, and I'm finna move on, I wasn't making enough money to fulfill the actual dream of, I want the freedom to be able to love and be there for my kids the way I want to be there for them. So I somebody online had posted that this company was hiring. And I was like, yo, I can get this benefit and use all of this to enhance my entrepreneurship journey. It's gonna help me be able to see people. I'm gonna be able to get out of the house, all this other stuff. It's a work at home job. So I wasn't really tripping about it. Wasn't tripping. This is the thing. When you jump out here and switch from, I'm doing entrepreneurship to doing working for somebody else, you can spot the holes in what people are saying, because some of the stuff just does not make sense. It doesn't make sense to somebody who's like, what do you mean? Like, you just saying stuff now. It doesn't make sense. Like, some of the trainings um didn't make sense, because in my mindset, I'm like, you could do this a lot better. You could do this a lot different, a lot differently. But going through that worker bee mentality or whatever, right? So I have had to switch my mindset, and by switching my mindset, it has been, okay, Cortesia, Corey, this job is intended to add to, or be an investment into what you have going on. So the 9 to 5 job is going to provide me with the money to move forward, because one of my main issues with everything was, like, people would um come and they would just be like, "Oh man, yeah, let's let's do this." And everybody had the freedom. Like, I was surrounded by a bunch of single women, other than my homie Jess, but a lot of single women who was just like, you shouldn't have this roadblock in your head. You're so talented. Woo, woo, woo. But those were the same people that weren't paying their full invoice or paying my full value. And what I will say is that if you're in a situation where you know your value, don't try to sit out there and and discount your value for other people. Because when you start discounting your value, people feel like they can dismiss you, they control you, they can literally go through a process and tell you, hey, you're not all of that. I don't need you, or I'm not, you know what I'm saying? They'll quickly move on, especially to serve their own needs, right? Um, it's been difficult, especially now. You know, thinking of everything with my personal story, I'm thinking like my health is one of the main reasons why I'm like, okay, let me get back into entrepreneurship. I'm not entrepreneurship, but into uh let me get back into a job because I need health insurance. I need health insurance. I need life insurance. I need certain things. So if something happens, I am protected. You know what I'm saying? And I understand entrepreneurship can protect you if you make enough money, if you do all of these things. But I need health insurance to be able to go through and get some of these auntie arms away, and to be able to go through and get some health concerns together so that I can live a better life. Okay. um that's really my main goal. So I have had to change my language as I'm going through this process of getting the money from the job, to be like, okay, this is an investment into a better life. The time and energy I'm putting into this job is going to be an investment into something else. Okay. So I just like, just thinking about it, I'm just like, uh going through all of the things I went through in entrepreneurship. It's not that they're over. And another reason why I needed to restart, and not just because of the money, is because I did things that I am not proud of in my entrepreneurship journey. Like, there are people that invested in me, and I didn't manage my time well in entrepreneurship, and I didn't hire the right people in entrepreneurship to be able to free up my time so that I could give them my absolute best. You know what I'm saying? I know we all have, issues in our lives where it's like, I know I want to do this, I know I can do this, I know all this other stuff, but then it pops up and you like, especially as a creative, like, I know I've had maybe one or two projects that I was like, okay, I'm gonna send this stuff, I'm gonna do all this other stuff, and I'm like, my creativity ain't popping. My creativity ain't coming. I can't design. I can't do anything, especially if it's not something that I'm really into. And I'd actually discovered that unless I'm really passionate about something, it's not something I could do. Like, somebody gave me a project, and the woman was supposed to have a church event, but Shorty was popping out of a Benz, and she had all this other stuff going on, and I was like, why didn't you choose to tell your story? Like, the stuff didn't make sense what she was doing. So yeah, I was like, I I had a lot of mental stuff I had to get over with. And thankful that I now, with the job that I have my regular benefits, but I also have the benefit of I have a therapist and I have a mental coach. And I think that those are important in entrepreneurship, because a lot of us be thinking coaches are gods and coaches are everything. But a lot of these coaches ain't that. They not that. And when I say they not that, they're not intended to be your end all be all. Some of y'all, and me included, needed actual therapy, needed actual actual help. Like going through talking about, oh, I'm down for this coach. Woo, woo. Baby, let me tell you something. You thought you was down for that person, and then they weren't down for you. And then you got to go through the heartbreak and breakup of it feels like you breaking up from a boyfriend or a girlfriend when you lose a relationship that you thought was everything and you held dear, right? Like right now, I'm breaking up with my phone because my phone is like a expensive paperweight. I took everybody advice on how to add stuff to my phone, and now my Gmail account is full. Let me tell you something. You want some of the worst advice ever? Ask a question on Facebook and ask them to respond because you get the absolute worst advice ever. But that's neither here nor there. All right. So that is how it started. Now I'm going to be right back and we're going to do a little commercial and go from there. So, if you are a person right now that has been through any of the things that I have been through and you having issues with time management, more than likely it's time for you to hire somebody or put somebody in a position. If it's like stuff that's on your plate that you just like, I'm just never gonna do it, baby. Let me tell you something. You need to hire somebody. Either you're going to um either you're gonna hire the person or you're going to hang out with my new amazing uh membership that I'm a part of, which is Barter Black. Now going with Barter Black is so amazing because if you're not going to invest money into something, you're going to have to invest time. All right, you're going to have to invest time. So as a person that's like, hey, I may not have the money, but I for sure will invest time into somebody's thing and literally just let them know, hey, we can barter. Nicole Murphy has created an application called Barter Black, and Barter Black helps you create a healthy bartering relationship. She has bartering contracts. She has all of these things to be able to help you create a positive bartering relationship so you don't end up getting bit in the butts. CYA at all costs. All right. Um, it's so many great things. So if you reach out to her, she'll be able to help you with that. Or you can click the link that's below in the live chat. All right. So jumping back in, we're gonna speed through the rest of it. We're gonna be thorough. All right. So now going through the process of I have to manage my time. I have to manage my time and literally say, okay, from this time to this time, I'm going to be all about work, all about my regular job. Then on my lunch breaks, I'm going to do this in order to prepare for after work and then go from there. It's actually I schedule all my meetings on my two off days, which is Monday and Tuesday. And then Wednesday through Sunday is just work 10 to 6:45 Eastern. And I'm working and working and working. And I have to, and I'm able to disassociate. What happened before my previous jobs is that I would feel so stressed because I made the job my God. I made the job mine. I would literally sit there and be like, "Oh my God," and fret and worry and stress about things that were out of my control. Like it's a lot of people that work for this company that literally are like, "Oh man, they treat um everything very very personal." And that is not my story. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to treat it personally. I'm not about to stress out. My goal is to listen to what is going on, provide customer service, and move on. And I made sure that whatever work at home job I was going to get, I didn't want it to uh conflict with what I do outside of here. Does that make sense? I know a lot of people that are in design or in creative areas. They're like, "Oh, let me work for this company as a web designer and things like that." I I don't mind having a job that's not creative because it gives me balance. So I can turn the switches on and off. And if I have, and because I work at home, when I have an idea, what I mostly do is I have paper over here and I sketch. I have paint. I really try and keep my mind going. I'm reading. I'm doing something that is beneficial to try and make this work. Um, so as far as managing time, I believe managing time is only as good as you make it, because I am not the best time manager, especially because I've been diagnosed with narcolepsy and ADHD. So my goal is like literally just complete something without bouncing around and opening up another 500 tabs on your device. All right? So sometimes it goes like that. And that is a part of me setting realistic goals for myself. Like, I believe the only way you're able to have effective time management and productivity is you literally have to set realistic goals. Like, I'm not about to sit here and say, you know what, I am going to uh go through a process of completing 10 things in a night. I got children. I want to eat. I'm trying keto. I'm trying to handle certain stuff. So no, it's not always going to be exact. It's not always going to be perfection. And once you get out of your mind uh and allow yourself to go with the flow of time management and setting realistic goals, my realistic goal is completion. Did you complete it? Right? Because I know in my mind, it's like, if I don't complete it, I'm gonna bounce around to something else. Like today, I'm going to finish my certification so I can be a black owned business. That's my goal. It only takes 30 minutes. Well, guess what you're doing on your lunch break? Your goal is to complete that. You're going to complete that. Let's get her done. You know what I'm saying? That is how I'm managing my time. I'm managing my time by setting the realistic goals. Like this, it's no in between. The two go in alignment. I have a planner that my sister just bought me, and I'm using my planner. I'm working on commitment to 18 minutes of something that makes me together. My 18 minutes has to be 18 minutes with God because I want to get to know him. My realistic goal is that every day I need to spend 18 minutes spending time with God, right? I need to spend 18 minutes getting to know him better so that we can have a relationship. Because if I'm doing all of these things, time management, working a 9 to 5, being with my kids, if I'm not doing it for an ultimate purpose, then what am I doing? Like, I have to be able to have a purpose for what I'm doing. And if you or anybody else that's watching this has read the book, The 12-Week Year, your purpose has to be greater than what the task you're actually doing it. You don't find your goals don't mean anything unless it's attached to a purpose. A lot of us have these goals, but they're not attached to a purpose. So then we're just doing them, and then we make excuses, we make all these different things about why we can't do this or why this isn't happening. And the reason why it's not happening is because we have not attached a purpose to our realistic goals so that we can manage our time effectively and find time for it. If you really wanted it and you really wanted to happen, you would make time for it. You would make it a priority for you to be successful. You would make it a priority that no matter what anybody else does, you are going to make it happen. So, a part of my metrics and my successes, I have literally told myself that, I was talking to my supervisor yesterday, and when I was talking to her, she's my team lead. She was like, "Oh, you have a side hustle?" I said, "No, this job is my side hustle. This job is intended for me to leverage, build relationships, and use that money to invest in my business so that I can grow it and I can have something that's greater that's out there, right?" I know that, I was listening to a reel yesterday where the lady said rich people don't save, they invest. Well, I am thinking on that mindset where my goal is to leverage the income from my 9 to 5, leverage the connections from my 9 to 5 to be able to connect on another level, to be able to invest monetarily consistently into my business. Like, I'm my own investor. If something breaks, I can repair it. If something needs to be paid, I can do that. And it's not, an issue. Now, a lot of people may say, like, you're crazy. Just go all in on entrepreneurship, raise your prices, do all this other stuff. I totally understand everything you're saying. I've done the price raising. I have tried to be like every coach and guru and person out there that literally has been like, just do it, just do it. And they look at you and they're like, you're such a leader. You're so this, you're so that. You should just be able to do it. I've charged $5,000 for this. I've done that. I've tried to do the rat race of things, right? But I don't want to do the rat race. I don't want to do the rat race. I don't want to uh put myself in a position where I am, how can I say it? I don't want to put myself in a position where I am without, because one of my greatest fears, especially being a mom and having kids, is literally that, my kids are going to need something and I won't be able to get it for them, because my mindset, I went through a paralyzing fear and inability to do anything when met with financial things that I had to prepare for. So I was paying for this program. I'm sorry, y'all. If you watching me on YouTube and I'm rubbing my nose, I don't do cocaine. It's something about every time I get on video, I have to rub my nose. And I don't know what that is. It's probably just, we're gonna work on it, okay? We're doing 30 days of this. 30 days. So I was paying for this program and I had paid it like 2, 3 months straight. I was like, yeah, woo, we good. Then all of a sudden it came to, it's time to pay again. And I was like, I don't have the money. And in their minds, they were like, go get the money. And I was like, what do you mean go get the money? They was like, build your system, go out there, go get the money. Well, I couldn't afford the systems. I ain't have no money. I didn't have any investment. In order to invest in the systems, you got to have money. So my 9 to 5 now is my investment into the systems, into the technology for these programs or whatever else is needed, right? It was paralyzing. I don't know if anybody's ever felt that way, but literally you get to a point where you're like, oh my God, like I gotta make money. And you sit there and you're like, I know I got this product. I know I got this thing. I need, and in my mind, how I process it was is I need to sell one of these to be able to put it out there. Right. I literally had people that were like coming to me and they were like, yeah, I want it. I want it. And some kind of way in between it, it was like I had 3 people that wanted it, and all 3 of them said no. So then I was like paralyzed with, I got to make more offers than this. I got to talk to more people than this. I got to, step outside of myself for a minute to be able to go and do more, right? It was terrifying. It was terrifying that in my mindset, I literally reasoned ways and methods to not go get money. I had to reason those. And when I went through the process to even try and get this job, I remember the lady saying, "Oh, you can't work another job." I was like, "You are hilarious." My entrepreneurship journey is my joy. I love creating. I love speaking. I love talking. I love doing these things. So it was going to happen either way. It was going to happen. It was going to happen. I don't care about none of that. It was going to happen. So when it came down to it, I just made up in my mind and I wrote down what this job's purpose is for. And God reminded me yesterday that you have to think in the idea of, okay, when I get this check, it's going here, 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 and here. It's fine. It's certain things you have to get cut off. If you followed me on Facebook, my goal within the next year is to be debt free in a year. What does that look like? How do you become debt free in a year? I got to start looking. I got to change my language. I have to be able to do those things. So if you're a person that's in a 9 to 5 job right now and you're like, I can't see above ground, I can't see, you know, outside of these things, I would tell you that you need to, number one, evaluate what you really want to do. Is it something you really want to do? And how can you use your job to be an investment in something else? I think that when I had a conversation with my supervisor yesterday, she was like, I don't know. I don't know what I can do. And I guess I'm going to do this. I guess I'm going to do that. And it's okay to have guesses. It's okay to try out different things and to see what works. It's also okay to go with the trends, which I've seen a lot where people just go with trends, create a product, make $100,000, and then they on to the next trend. That's like, bumping from trend to trend. You got to learn each new trend in order to make it happen, right? So, I think I put it on too tight. Uh, all right. Podcast. I'm trying to open a water bottle. We're gonna take a break until I can get some water up out of here. But I know. Good and daggone. All right. My God. Jesus. All right. I do apologize. But I feel like, going through this process and being like, okay, um this is where I'm at. This is where I'm starting. This is a new start for me. I've been able to um secure clients while doing a 9 to 5 job. And it's literally going to be me taking one day and organizing, all of the content and being able to go from there. Um, I feel more organized. I was really late all the time with everything else. Um, Having to log in at 10:15 in the morning and like, okay, I'm finna log in at 10:15. As soon as I log in, ABCDEFG, I know exactly what to do. I'm hoping that this will give me a routine so that I can start being on time with more things. So I know that a lot of people are, I know a lot of people right now are in a position where they are like, all right, I'm working this job. I hate this job. I don't really hate my job. When a customer call in cussing me out, I'm like, okay, this is what I can do. I'm not finna argue with you. I'm not. And if you cuss me out, I can end the call. All I have to do is tell you I'm ending the call because you cussing at me. All right. Um, but I feel like if I there are people out here literally are like, I hate my job. I hate getting up in the morning. And I feel like that's where I was at a lot of my jobs is I hated getting up in the morning. Because I didn't know myself, I didn't feel myself. I knew something bad was happening, or I allowed somebody to make me feel inferior because I didn't have the type of education they felt like I should. I didn't, you know, my mind didn't work a certain way, so people didn't agree with it. After, all of those things, the reality is that it's okay. And I don't know how else to like and it's okay to take a break. It's okay to relax, but don't completely quit. When I say completely quit, like don't give up. Don't give up on your dream. Don't give up on your goals. Don't give up, right? It is okay for you to feel like, damn, I messed up. Let me revamp and rebuild. Like a lot of people rebrand their businesses more than they rebrand themselves, which is so weird. You want to build a new website all the time, but your mindset is still this abyss of nothing. Like I don't get it. Like every time I'm rebuilding or redesigning something, I know my mindset has to change. And I'm okay with that. Sometimes the changes happen faster than I'm ready for, but I gotta jump on the horse. I gotta jump on the good foot. I gotta try and pick it all together. I know this. So, as a part of, growing up and maturing in your personal life and in your business, you have to make sure that you're taking time out for yourself. You're taking time out to mature and not just revamp and rebrand your business, but rebrand and revamp your mind. I know a lot of people are talking about high ticket sales and selling high ticket and all these other things, but you can't do any of that until you're preparing your mind to be able to talk to these people. It's just like if you took some time out to sell drugs, right? Selling to people who only smoke marijuana is different from people who do cocaine. I know you didn't think about that, but it's different. It's completely different. People who do cocaine, you're going to market to them completely different than you would to somebody who does weed, right? Or if you know your clientele well enough, hey, this person is gonna only buy, $5 bags. This person gonna buy $10 bags, but this person right here is going to buy a pound. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to do drug references. I don't know how else to do it. I'll come with some better examples later. But right now you got to deal with the drug references. So yeah, it's just balance is an illusion. You have to be able to decide what works for you. Remember that if you are looking to go from doing the 9 to 5, adding entrepreneurship to it, don't look at your job as your main source of income. Look at it as an investment into your business. Now, I know people may be like, oh, it's a side hustle and things like that. If you continue to think like this is just a side hustle, you can end up waking up to 700 orders and not being able to understand how that happens and end up failing like I have. I've had issues in the past where I wasn't able to meet deadlines and do all of these things because I wasn't prepared for the influx of people that was coming in. I wasn't prepared. Like it literally was like one night and when you do things like with your own hands and you're doing all the services, like I had, 5 people in 1 month for a website, and I was charging, good money for doing their website, right? I was charging good money. So with me charging, good money, I had so many people come in. I was like, oh my God, this person want a flyer, this person want a graphic, this person want a website. It was like 2-3 websites in a month, and I was like, my God, this is a lot. So I over promised and I under delivered, or I just had terrible issues. So that is something that I'm looking to change and fix and make better in the future by having my job as an investment to hire people. Um, I know in Atlanta, if I wasn't living with my mom, I would not be able to afford rent. I know my mom's mortgage is like $500-$600, right? Mortgage in it, I'm not mortgage, but rent in Atlanta is like in a good neighborhood. You looking at about $3,000. Can I make $3,000 working this job? Yeah, if I pick up a lot of hours and don't have no off days. But who wants to do that? Who wants to do that? Because another part of the video I watched is that rich people believe in freedom. Like I'm not just scheduling vacations. I'm taking what I need and I'm keeping it pushing, right? So if I'm gonna be honest with you, entrepreneurship is needed in order to survive. Unless you have a job that's making, well, in Atlanta like 8,000 and above. Because I remember this lady was my mentor when I was in my early 20s, and she was like, only 20% of your income is supposed to be for your housing. Well, my God, let me tell you something here. For a very long time, my living situation has been, all of my money. All of my money, all of my money. So it's something else for you to think about. Make sure you have people around you that are actually supportive, not people that are just taking from you and pulling from you. I'm so grateful that I've had people that are literally um, watching my back, watching my kids, letting me work. And then on my off days, I'm making it happen. My mom has been dropping the kids off at school because I'm not driving right now. She said she couldn't find the toilet paper. It was right here, bro. I swear to God. Let me tell you something. One of these balance things I'm working through, working 9 to 5, is that these kids are going back to school. And when they go back to school, I'm going to have to pray and put oil in my daughter's shoes because she don't look for nothing. It be right here in her face, and she don't look for it at all. I don't get it. So that's why I said balance is an illusion. Um, I'm just super happy that I'm able to start therapy and start overcoming a lot of the things that I had made issues. I'm happy. And guess what? Along this journey, people are going to leave. One of the mindsets that I had to get over is people are going to leave. You can let people go, and it's okay to move on. I'm a very loyal person. So how I am is like if I'm loyal to you, bro, you got me for life. I'm here. I'm rocking. I'm doing stuff to try and make sure we straight. Even if you may not think, damn, she she care about me. No, I really care about you. Like I really care about you. I want you to grow. I want you to be effective. I want you to have all of these things, right? And I hope one day I will be able to transition to full-time entrepreneurship again. But here's the thing. There is a ability to have full-time six-figure employment and six-figure entrepreneurship. So if I can do both at the same time and it's easy and it doesn't cost any friction, I am so willing to do that. So um all in all, what I will say is that if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. You can just be an entrepreneur. You can just be a 9 to 5er. But my path and my version for life don't have to be like everybody else's. I tried to follow everybody's path on, I quit my job or I left my job, and yeah, Beyonce messed us up. Quit your job. Woo woo woo. So yeah, but I had quit my job before she made that song. Um we want to follow what everybody else is doing because it seems good, it sounds great, but we have to consider all of everything we have going on in order to make it work. So I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in to the podcast today, and you on YouTube and etc. for watching out there. If you want to see me, you can go to the YouTube. This is also on LinkedIn, but we are also live on Anchor FM, the new which is now owned by Spotify, and you can go on there and you can shoot your own podcast too. Please remember, podcasts are great for building your own authority and your expertise in certain areas, so that you can start pitching yourself to other companies and things like that. So I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in, whether you're watching now or watching later. I also want you to remember that if you are in need of somebody to help you in your business and you ain't got no money, and you consistently keep saying, I ain't got no money to afford paying nobody and I need help, well, you need to get in touch with Nicole Murphy of Barter Black and make sure you make the connection so that you can get the help you need in your business. I hope y'all have the most amazing day. Hasta luego. Peace, my niece. Te quiero, amor y todo. Bye, y'all.